I'm happy to present you Java on a BeagleV-Fire, this one. This is a BeagleBoard with a RISC-V processor. In an earlier video, I already showed that I got Java running on this BeagleY AI. So this is an ARM-powered board, so it's a processor comparable to the Raspberry Pi. We already know for many more years that Java does run on these ARM processors, so also here, no problem. In the previous video, I will add a link in the show notes. I had Java running, JavaFX, and even Py4j to work with electronic components should work on this, but those are things I will try out later. But that video, I concluded that I didn't get Java running on this one with a RISC-V processor. And the reason was that this has Ubuntu 23 pre-installed. And I couldn't update to a newer version. I couldn't install Java because the apt repositories were outdated and no longer available. I needed to update this to a newer version of Ubuntu. This can be done with the BeagleBoard Imaging Utility. Because I'm used to do that with Raspberry Pis and SD cards, that's also what I tried here, but this has eMMC with the operating system pre-installed. So you need to replace the operating system which is already on this board with a newer version. I didn't do that in the previous video, so here is the next one where I did that and I had the full process running. Succeeded to bump this to Ubuntu 24 and install Java 25. I will show you what I did, all the steps in between. Most important to keep in mind that I did a lot of cuts in this video because updating the system, getting all the latest dependencies takes quite some time. So you will see that this goes pretty fast. If you do this on real speed, let's say in half an hour, you can get this update to the latest Ubuntu with all the latest dependencies and have Java 25 running on it. While I was testing the other boards, I also asked a question on the Discord channel of the BeagleBoard. I immediately got replies and how I should test it, and this was crucial. I should connect a serial connector because there's a wealth of information that I can watch from the board. If you go look into the documentation of the BeagleBoard on the BeagleBoard website, then you get this video with an overview of the board, how you can connect an USB cable, but more importantly is here the flashing eMMC, so the onboard memory where the operating system is stored. So you need the imager tool, but you also need a serial connection. So that's with an UART debug console. If you want to use that, you need to connect this. And a connector like that is very cheap. So it's an USB to serial connection. I bought this one. It has more wires than I needed for the BeagleV-Fire. This is all in the kit, of course. In these times you don't need the USB and the manual anymore, you need the cable. Here is the cable and here is the board. So on one side the USB, and then you have all these wires, but we only need the ground to be connected to the board, and the RXD and the TXD. They need to be connected on the board, vice versa. This is the board connected to my PC. And you see here, if you watch the message TTY USB 0 on my Linux machine. Now we can open a screen. This screen, you need to configure it with the right speed. And from that moment on, you have an interface to the board and you will see whatever the board spits out. I had a few times, and I don't know why, that the board seemed to be stuck, and then if I looked into the screen it was on 80%, and after rebooting the device it went on, so I don't know exactly what happened there. Now to get into the right mode to put a new operating system on there, you need to push the button at exactly the right time. You see this 1 second time frame you have to push on, for instance, a number or a letter, and then you have this mode where you can type in commands. So first one is MMC and then USB-D MSC, and at this moment the board is connected as an USB drive to your PC. Now if you start the BeagleBoard Imager tool at that moment, choose the board, and the image you want to put on it. So I'm going for the Ubuntu 24. Here you see the USB-C, so the USB device which is connected. So if you select this destination, you can burn the operating system on there. I used the settings that I had from the other Beagle ARM board, which had Wi-Fi pre-configured and user accounts, so I burned that image on this board. Here you see that it failed to set up Wi-Fi. I even don't know if there's Wi-Fi on this board, but apparently having these settings enabled here. So I disabled the Wi-Fi settings and I burned it again with those settings. So my user account is there. Then you see that this finished successfully. So rebooting the board. Again, we have this progress. It's stuck a bit on 60, but then it goes on. And now you see that it does a lot more because I didn't interrupt it. And if we fast forward, then you see that we actually end up on the login screen with my user account that I configured in the imaging tool and Ubuntu 24.04. So that's what we needed. Now going back to my work PC, I can SSH into this device with the account that was configured in the imaging tool. And now we need to do a few things before we can actually install Java. So this is a confirmation that we are on Ubuntu. Is we need to do a sudo apt update and a sudo apt upgrade. Again, fast forward, this takes quite some time because there are a lot of updates waiting to be installed here. So if all this is done, we have an up-to-date operating system. So I'm adding SDKman. To install SDKman, we need zip. So let's first install that one. Zip is installed. You can try SDKman again, and now it goes on. So I'm installing SDKman just to try out to see what it gives us as a list of available Javas according to SDKman. So SDK list Java. But at this moment, SDKman doesn't recognize RISC-V processors, so it indicates them as exotic, and it doesn't show any Java version available. We'll fix that later. Let's install JBang, so the tool to run more complex Java single file applications with dependencies. That works without a problem with SDKman. Let's also clone the Py4j JBang repository, not because we're going to use the Py4j library, but because there are a lot of examples there. When we try to ask for the version of Java, it lists a lot of versions, but not the one I want to use, 25. So I'm trying to do an apt update and upgrade again. I was wondering if it maybe missed something, but even after a second update, it still only shows these versions. But if we search in the apt repository for OpenJDK, we get a much longer list. And here you see that we have several package versions of OpenJDK 25. So we'll pick the full one, the JDK, and install it. Again, needs to download quite some stuff, so fast forward. But if we now ask for Java version, we get 25.02. So that's already the second update version of the LTS 25. Let's move into the Py4j JBang directories. There are two simple file examples there. Hello World Java that we can just execute with Java without compiling, and we get Hello World. And also, when using JBang, we can do the JSON parsing example, which is a bit more complex because it needs dependencies, and that's what JBang does for us. So it gets the dependencies, and we have an executed Java app. Conclusion: does Java work? Yes, of course it works. We assumed it would work, and now I also have the proof. It's Java 25, so the latest version, the LTS version, which is maintained for a very long time. In a few months or weeks, we will get Java 26. which is a short-term version, so it will only be maintained for 6 months. So I'm happy that I could already get 25 on here, but 26 will work just as well if it's integrated, available free via the apt install command. Is it so performant as on an ARM? I'm not sure yet. So my goal for 2026 is to find out if Java works on all these boards and how performant it is. So my next step will be to have some kind of reusable performance test with Java that I can compare these boards and see how ARM and RISC-V compare to each other and what is achievable with these cheap single board computers. So if you're interested in this, if you want to let me test something specifically, please comment. Please subscribe also to my channel to get future updates and new videos, and check my blog webtechie.be for all the information, links to the website, where you can find the tools, the price of these things, and all the other tests that I have already done. Thanks for watching, and see you next time when I go further. I have new boards waiting here, so new video soon.